Mille Lacs Lake is one of the pinnacle lakes of Minnesota, not including Lake Superior, of course. It is 132,516 acres big, making it Minnesota's second largest inland lake. The maximum depth is 42 feet, and the lake contains many different kinds of fish. Duluth was originally established by the Anishinaabe, also known as the Ojibwe or the Chippewa. Soon after the arrival of Europeans, they became middlemen between the French fur traders and other Native American tribes. Interest in the area grew in the 1950s as knowledge became known of copper and iron ore in the Duluth area spread. This caused Duluth to be the fastest growing city in the country in the years of 1869 and 1870. Soon, the Lake Superior and Mississippi Railroad also helped with this population increase by creating an extension of St. Paul to Duluth. As the city continued to grow around the start of the 20th century, Duluth's port has surpassed the port of New York City as well as the port of Chicago, making it the country's leading port at the time. With all this economic growth, many different companies were founded in Duluth for its populace. Duluth at one point was home to more millionaires per capita than any other city in the world. Now, Duluth has a current population of 84,380 people, making it Minnesota's fourth largest city in terms of population, and has a total area of 87.43 square miles, making it the second largest city in terms of land in the state of Minnesota. While being a popular place to explorers, missionaries, and voyagers from as early as the 17th century, the city itself wasn't founded until 1895 by a school teacher and preacher by the name of L.A. Ogard. The city was originally named Rainy Lake City, and the first public school there was organized in 1894 with the founder, L.A. Ogard, being its first teacher. In 1903, the name had changed to International Falls. And since 1965, the Boise paper mill, located right on the river, is the biggest business and employer in the area. And located right on the U.S.-Canadian border, International Falls now has a population of about 6,357 people. International Falls is also home to the Koochiching County Historical Museum, as well as the Bronco-Nagurski Museum. Bemidji was founded in 1896 and is well known as the curling capital of the United States. Bemidji is the largest commercial center between Grand Forks, North Dakota, and Duluth. The city has a current population of 13,431, of course not including the two ginormous statues of Paul Bunyan and Babe the Blue Ox, who are iconic to downtown Bemidji. Bemidji is near many different state and national parks, such as Itasca State Park and Paul Bunyan State Forest, that make it a very iconic Minnesotan tourist spot. Itasca State Park is a beautiful park located just outside of Bemidji. Itasca is most known for containing the headwaters of the Great Mississippi River. The headwaters of the Mississippi River were discovered by Henry Schoolcraft in 1832 with help from local Native Americans. Inside Itasca is host to many different kinds of plant and trees, including the quaking aspen, the big-tooth aspen, the paper birch, the red pine, and the white pine, just to name a few. The park was established on April 20th, 1891, making it Minnesota's first state park and the second oldest state park in the entire nation. Fergus Falls was founded in 1856 by a Scottish trapper named Joe Whitford, and he named the city after his employer, James Fergus. It is currently estimated that 13,215 people live in Fergus Falls today. In Fergus Falls, the Otter Trail Scenic Byway is a 150-mile highway route that goes all around Otter Tail County, which Fergus Falls is located in. On the trail, there are many different trees, flowers, and lakes that you encounter, as well as you get to see the culture and the history of the towns that you pass through while on the trail. It is quite a beautiful sight. Fort Snelling was brought to being in 1962 by a Lieutenant Zebulon Pike, who met with the Dakota and negotiated the purchase of the land that the fort was built upon. The fort played a big role in the Dakota War of 1862, as well as back in the day, the fort and its occupants had full gardens, livestock, bakery, and boat storage sets that went into the lower river valley. Restoration of the fort started in 1957, and they started rebuilding the fort with the original architecture plans, as well as the original limestone that was used when the fort was originally built. Now, with this wonderful restoration by the Minnesota Historical Museum, it is the most visited state park in Minnesota, even though it does not have a campground. Originally built in 1871, the Basilica of St. Mary's was soon rebuilt to what we now know in 1914, making it the first basilica in the United States. Then in 1975, the basilica was added to the National Register of Historical Places. The walls of the building are 70 feet high, with the two spirals measuring up to 116 feet, and the main dome is up to 200 feet off the floor, making it a significant building in Minneapolis. Construction began on our state capitol building in 1896. It was designed by Cass Gilbert and modeled after St. Peter's Basilica in Rome. The building was finished in 1905. Currently, its unsupported marble dome is the second largest in the world, following, of course, St. Peter's Basilica. Inside the dome is a statue of a star to represent Minnesota's motto of being the Star of the North.